I think it needs careful consideration what exactly is meant by Buddhism. Buddhism as a religion, meaning to devote oneself to the religion, following practices blindly and performing rituals. The practice of meditation can become a ritual, then this will have some effect on the surface of one's life. One will be perceived differently in the world and therefore receive different, more positive reactions from people. However, for real inner peace, it is required to immerse yourself into the meaning of the teachings. The way I see it, there used to be a guy who was very attentive, observant, and then he or one of his disciples wrote down his findings. One can create a religion out of it or really try to discover the meaning behind it, not intellectually, but actually. This requires no external guidance. The teachings of Buddhism are sound. If one tries to see what the meaning is in oneself, e.g. through meditation, it becomes insight, and that will have a profound impact on how one sees life and conducts oneself in life. The practice of meditation is good to develop a quiet mind that can actually observe what is happening rather than chattering all the time. Beyond that, I think that paying attention or being mindful in everyday situations is all the meditation that is needed. The practice of meditation is like treatment for pain. Meditation, i.e. not the formal practice, can be life. I have seen really devoted people come out of a meditation hall, just finished several hours of meditation practice, and they are starting to continue the fight they had before. This is the difference between Buddhism just being book knowledge or applied wisdom. So yes, the teachings are good, but the work needs to be done with the willingness to know for oneself, not blindly following a manual set out by someone else. Be your own master. Emo, classical Buddhism is a way to discover some basic principles regarding the nature of reality via mental and other exercises that can help one achieve an equilibrium between one's inner and outer life. Its positing of a depersonalized, atemporal, mono-everythingism as ultimate reality is interesting, but refutes itself in its very stating. I.e., if all is illusion, then this would also mean that the statement itself, all is illusion, is also unreality, or if reality only means no thing real, then even the statement, nothing is real, implodes in its own falsehood. Best that Buddhism can do, again, emo, is allow the odd, meaning seeking and creating being called human to get to places in its mind that allow it to feel the ground floor of what makes it be, with nothing to say thereafter. Certainly nothing coherent to say regarding the undeniable and eternal reality of that solid thing under its feet, other than it is. For some though, just the exercise in itself is an experience worth its ultimately non-existent, per Buddhism's ultimate truth discovery, weight in gold. Stripping away one's attachment to self-affirmation via desire, accepting the desire to strip, seems to have an overall positive effect for some people, but for others, can be literally maddening. So I would say in summary, that Buddhism is a way for human beings to learn how to sit still and float within the sea of being that they are not only surrounded by, but also informed by. To get to a steady state of awareness and resignation regarding the reality of that being. In this way, Buddhism can be a good first step in growth into what human being means, but because of its reductionist monist tendencies, all that really means is that you've been brought face to face with the reality of something that eternally insists participation in the way that only a personal being can, personally. To stop at mere steady-state recognition of eternity with no further validation of the mystery of the undeniably solid thing that is personhood, to me, seems like that old joke. Q. How do you keep an asshole in suspense? A. P. S. We all, including Gautama Buddha himself, intuit the validity of personhood as the true key to the lock of our participation in the eternal fact of being. Most clearly apprehended by those with the strange desire to remove it via disassociative stalemates with the fact and calling it nirvana, enlightenment, or no thing. No thing could never desire removing anything, by definition. Thus, personhood, the ability to reflectively intuit a singular, meaning giving consciousness behind one's eyes, rather than dumping one into a state of endlessly seeing through existence, actually lands one squarely in front of the face of reality. To persist in seeing through at that point becomes an exercise in evasion, not in engagement, and the reality of being insists on personal engagement by persons, not non-persons. The great truth is not the reality of nothing, but of eternal somethingness. That is what the human being is called to participate in and grow thereby. So my advice, from experience in pursuing Buddhism as far as it can take one, is that if you find a system of thought and practices that lead you to a clarifying, unburdening, Ready Player One, state like Buddhism, then, you will begin to be in a place to start to play the game, which may actually have many, many, levels waiting for you, beyond mere sensations of steady-state unity and connections. At one with the everythingness of everything, nothingness of nothing. Awesome. Now move and start playing, mate. You truly now have no excuse not to. There's more, infinitely more, to the story. I don't know actually. I sort of believe the reason why there are so many religions in the world is because we're all different and different strokes for everyone you know. It explains why there are so many cults as well. I was born a Catholic. For some reason I was a very religious child, the kind who goes to church on my own even when my parents don't, haha. When I was 15, I converted to Christianity and was a rabid Christian. I wanted to be a missionary, was in church 7 days a week, sat on the missions committee and led missions. Then many years later, on a community trip to Nepal, an encounter made me realize how arrogant I am to tell someone that my experiences in life supersede theirs and what they've learned that led them to their gods and beliefs are lesser than mine. So I became a Buddhist, have been since 1996. I feel more peaceful living by Buddhist philosophies. At the same time, I have good friends from other religions who are equally at peace with their chosen religions. I think whatever brings you peace is what is right for you, and you only, and that is not something I can say everyone should then adopt. Dalai Lama once said, "I have only one religion, it is called kindness."